Okay. All right, class, quiet. Absolute value inequalities is the title for today's lesson. So it's like absolute value equations a little bit, except it has less than and greater than stuff going on. Okay, so we're going to start off with a simple one. If the absolute value of x is less than k, what you do is you go x is less than k and x is greater than negative k. So this is sort of giving you a procedure to do. If it's greater than, then we do, I guess I didn't draw arrows there. Then we do x is greater than k. So the first one you just take the absolute value off. And then or x is less than negative k. So it's a little interesting to remember because if it's less than or equal to, you're going to use and, greater than, or equal to, it's or. But I have a mnemonic device for you. Here we go. Less than and great or. So if it's less than, it's and. Greater than, it's or. Less than, great or. It kind of sounds like you got a southern accent, but that's how you remember. Less than, great or. So this is the less than symbol, that's greater than. And if they have equal signs underneath, it works the same. Okay? Less than, great or. And it breaks it down for you in the little table on the next slide, which really doesn't have a whole lot that you have to write. And so if you have less than, it's and. So you can see the little ands in here. Less than is and. If k is negative, you can't be, it doesn't work and you end up with no solutions, which I'll show you in a little bit. If it is greater than, you use or, and if it comes out negative, you end up with all real numbers. And it'll make more sense when we're actually graphing them because you just use the stuff that we did for our inequalities with the compound inequalities. So you don't actually have to memorize this. It's just sort of showing you all of the different scenarios. And it won't really make sense till we put numbers in. So let's jump to that. So let's look at this very simple inequality. If I have the absolute value of x is less than 5, less than, since it's less than, I'm going to go ahead and write the and. I know, I'm trying to say it funny. It's okay to laugh. All right, so we'll have x is less than 5 and x is greater than negative 5. So on the second inequality, you're going to switch it from less than to greater than, and you're going to switch it from 5 to negative 5. So that's the first one, they just take the absolute value off. The second one, you flip the sign, change it from positive to negative. So that's my solution. And then they want us to graph it. So I could put these together. And these are the ones where x is in the middle and it's less than 5. That comes from here. And then I can flip this around and put negative 5 on the side. You could just graph both of them and figure out where they cross if you wanted to. So I'm just going to make a very simple graph to save time. So it goes from negative 5 to 5. We do our little not filled in points because we don't have equals, and then it's all the numbers in between. So these are all the numbers that are less than 5 and greater than negative 5. And remember on the ands, typically you'll get this segment. Occasionally you get something else, but usually we end up with that little segment like that. Okay, so let's do an or problem. So when I see this greater than sign, I'm going to think great or. It's an or. So I'm going to have x is greater than 5. So for the first one, you take the absolute value off, it's just greater than 5, or x is less than negative 5. So we flipped the greater than sign to less than, went from positive 5 to negative 5. So on the second one, you just switch a lot of stuff. The only thing that doesn't change is the x. So that's my solution. And so if I do a quick graph, I'm going to have 5 and negative 5 on there. So it's greater than 5, which should be like this, from 5 to the right, or less than negative 5. So we do this and go to the left. And you could make longer arrows if you want to. That's supposed to look like an arrow. I'm sorry.
That's a triangle with you?
I know, right? Okay, so let me fix that.
2017.
Okay, so we have the open circles because there's no equal to symbol, and then it goes to the left, goes right. Okay, so that's in general what these look like. Now I'm going to show you the special cases, okay? When you have negatives, just like with the equations, you will have special cases. Okay, so on the first one, it's less than or equal to. That's not what makes this special. It's the negative that makes it special. So I would have x is less than or equal to -2, and, because it's less than, and x is greater than +2. Okay, so if I make a number line, I put 2 and -2 on it. What numbers are smaller
7.
than -2
-3.
and
-7.